What's up, everybody? How you doing? You know what this is. I starting a series of videos up again to hone in on some things that need to be talked about. I started videos a few years back, did a few little things, but I think that maybe that was some uh, practice or doing some dry runs or something like that. But now it's time to get serious. Now it's time to get to the point where we begin to look at life for what it is. um, First I have to start off by saying about life is that we have been taught to, and I'm sorry, I'm jumping right into this, because for one, who am I? Even if you're a brother, a sister of mine, a cousin, a friend, you know who I am. But where am I coming from with what I'm getting ready to discuss here? Um, where I'm coming from is that we have a lot of issues that we're not talking about. One, either we don't know that there's an issue, or two, we don't care. And both of those situations stand on the same spectrum. And it's a total, it's like a complacency. And I'm sorry, I'm jumping right into it, but I'm jumping right into it because it's crucial right now. Um, to kind of give you guys a idea where I'm coming from, man, is that um, I'm moved back here to Michigan after about 15 years. During that 15 years, um, I've been in a number of different situations. Just serving in the military uh, brings a lot of unique situations that most people don't really experience. Good and bad, good situations and bad situations. But one thing that I can definitely say is that there's a difference in, and what I'm about to say is not hidden from anybody. It's not a secret, but there's a difference in our culture today, not just as black people, but as Americans. Period. About white people, black people, Hispanics, everything. There is a change in our culture. That one that if you never leave the country or you never leave the place that you're used to being, you won't know where I'm coming from. You won't understand what I'm saying in this situation. It's not because you just can't understand. You don't. It's just in order for you to understand certain things, you have to go and experience them. You have to um, be right in front of it. That's a concept that's not rocket science or anything like that. You have to, in order to have experience with something, you have to deal with it. But um, I'm gonna hit on mostly in the beginning things that predominantly deal with black people. Um, I understand white people a lot more. I understand Hispanics. I understand Asians. Everything, no, but I can go around different people and strike up and engage them, whether they black, white, anything. I'm comfortable. I can be comfortable around white people, black people, everybody. It is a desire, and when I'm using me as an example because there are other people who feel like that. There has to be a desire for diversity. All right. And so that's what the point of it in this conversation is about life and about issues, is that we have to have a sense of that there's something different than what we're used to. There's something different than what we are used to. Um, First off, I thank God. I thank the Lord Jesus Christ for saving me, because I want to tell you guys up front that the things that you're going to hear me say in the videos and series that I'm going to be doing, um, there's some of the stuff you personally, whoever listening, you may not hear anybody else say. You might hear somebody say it, but you might not. Because um, while in the world right now, truth is being redefined. And I'll go over that. It's kind of hard living in the world today to tell people the hardcore truth because there's so much information out here now. But in any event, it's we have to understand that there are things outside of our mindsets that work, and things outside of our mindset that will work better for us. Um, I'm gonna build up to a point in this later on, but I'm gonna hit on things predominantly dealing with black people because, for one, I'm black, and for two, it's the concept of dealing with your own home first. It's something that me and my wife are trying to work on right now. Is we're trying to focus on one individually, me trying to make sure inside of me that I'm focused, that I'm looking at what's wrong with me and trying to push towards resolution or finding some type of resolve to deal with whatever it is I'm dealing with myself. Then once I begin to deal with myself, I can deal with my children. I can deal with my wife. A wife can deal with her husband. Once we are dealing with our household, then I can help deal with other people. But I can't go out to anybody and help them out if I'm not trying to help myself or make my own situation better. Which brings me to that point of that we have issues out here today that we don't recognize. And even if we recognize or somebody say something about it, we will blow it off because it's not part of the normal thinking. And that is just the way humans, it's a human thing when that's done. But in any event, um, one thing that, we have to get to the point of doing and looking at is what is affecting us in life. Like, really, seriously, think about your life right now. What is affecting your life? And I'm not just going to say in a negative way, in a positive way too, because you have to be able to divide these things. What is it in your life right now that's affecting you in a positive way? What's affecting you in a negative way? And truly think about that. Because that's one thing that the average person, I could bet, don't think about. Don't really sit and they really think about what's positive in my life right now. What's going right? What do I need to maintain? But what's going wrong? What do I need to change? What do I need to get rid of in my life? And most inner city black people are not thinking like that. And the reason why most inner city black people are not thinking about that is because that's called managing life. That's called developing some type of values. But we as a whole in the inner city were not taught values. We were taught values, don't get me wrong. No, that's wrong to say that. We were taught value, but we were taught the wrong values. So we were taught, oh, just go to school and get money, be a success, right? Some people on that end of go to school, get money, get success. Some people it was go sell freaking drugs. You can make all this money selling drugs. Some people going killing people for money. And some people just going from minimum wage job to minimum wage job just to hang on because we were told to just focus on that. But what we have been taught is very, very incomplete. And I can go over a number of things now, but one thing that I will say that was, because this is more so of a general discussion. At first I was talking about me being in the military and stuff, but I have to go in this direction because I'll pause and give you my testimony at the end. But understand that we have been taught Oh, okay, don't get married, but have sex and just wear a rubber. We were taught you get pregnant, you abort it. I mean, how many people? I'll tell you within the inner city. I'll tell you just from Michigan alone. I put this thing out on Facebook once before. I'm not on Facebook anymore, and I'm not getting back on there. But you know, 2/3 of the abortions in the state of Michigan happen in the city of Detroit. And we're not talking about Metro Detroit. We're not talking about, oh, Detroit City and Southfield and Ann Arbor and Ferndale and all. No, we're talking about 313. 2/3 of the abortions that happened in this state was from the city of Detroit. That's why you, as a person, you either know somebody who got an abortion or you were the person who got an abortion. Most people either know somebody or is the person or both that had an abortion. Why is that? Why is that? And I mean, as I play this video back to myself, even back to myself, and, you know, these are little things that I'm gonna go deeper into as to why, because that stemmed from the sexual and feminist movement back in the 50s and 60s. Not anything happening now. Most stuff that we see now are products of things that happened already. That's why by the time we go to fix it, the damage is already done and another problem is in front of us, so you can never keep up. And so I'm sorry if some of this is going over your head, but I have to set a tone right now because I can start talking the Bible right now and doing that. And to me, that's all you need. However, you won't understand spiritual things with the Bible if I can't show you things that's right in front of you. If you can't see what's right in front of you, there's no way you're going to understand faith. There's no way you're going to understand what I come from when I say that Jesus Christ is the only way to God. You're not going to get it. Religiously, you might get it because we all are kind of used to religious talk and being around religious people, but you won't truly receive it because receiving it is far past just religion. Religion itself is not bad. There's nothing wrong with religion. But when you base things off just religion, you know, it becomes a checklist because religion is a standard. That's pretty much what religion is, a standard. It's like I said, I'm sorry I'm going in different locations right now, but what I'm trying to tell you guys is that we have issues right now that we need to talk about. We need to have dialogue about. We have been taught uh how are we going to tell people to how are we going to tell kids that's growing up becoming adults, you know, that having sex is a part of growing up, it's a part of going from a child to an adult. That's a normal thing. That's an encounter that we have to prepare our kids for that. But we never did that. We just told, oh, wear protection, wear rubber, and that's it. And that doesn't work. It's a complete failure because we still got STDs. We still got people getting pregnant outside of wedlock because we don't even care about marriage anymore. However, we want a man. We want to have a man around us, but we want to have another man around us, or we want a man around us, but we choose we're black women are at a disadvantage because most black women today have not seen real men, have not seen what a man is, what the responsibilities of a man is. You've seen a gender male, but you have not seen, you know, this is what a man is supposed to do. And you're at a disadvantage because when a real man does come around, you reject him and you accept the little boy that is in a man body that don't want to take care of you, don't want to to be a father to the children, be a husband to the wife. because you're not used to that. You're not used to seeing that. You're used to seeing mama with a bunch of other guys or daddy with some other females. And so that's what we get used to. And then we tell our kids, oh, just, you just going to school and, you have, just make sure you have protection. That does not work. Yeah, for some it do. But ask the ones that's catching STDs. You don't even see, practicing safe sex is not even a thing anymore. But you see, this is just one subject right here that I'm talking about. That's another little thing right there. We talking about things that are going on that we have to begin to talk about. We have to begin to deal with. We got most of our people in the inner city of Detroit still living in poverty. And the crazy thing about poverty is there was a article, not necessarily an article, it was on the radio, where a guy was talking about poverty, how poverty, a lot of poverty as the most, poverty at the most in the United States is actually non-existent. Because nowadays you have people who are on welfare, they got smartphones. And we ain't talking about, something that's just at Boost Mobile that costs 30, 40 bucks. No, we're talking people on welfare that got iPhones and the latest and greatest shoes and clothes. People we're staying on the welfare system, but we are living in poverty, yet we got wash machine, dryer, fridge is full, even though it's full with nothing but a bunch of genetically modified food. But it's filled up. And because of this way of living, we have been okay with mediocrity. We've been okay being victims. So we'll sit around killing, death. We'll sit around rape, murder. And we won't worry about it unless it happens to us. That's just one other problem that I'll break down. But out of all of this, I think the biggest problem, period, because humans are not perfect. People, we are not perfect. We are going to do good things. We're going to do bad things. We're going to do right and we're going to mess up. We are not perfect. However, we can forge a community where people can grow and grow in health. People are going to make mistakes, but do we learn from the mistake? Do we now say, okay, that was a mistake, let's not make that again? And also, how do I prevent my children from making that mistake? And so what we have to get to the point of doing is stop watching TV and watching these celebrities, for one, that's keeping us in bondage. The celebrities that we've been watching our whole life. Think about celebrities that you're watching right now. And you glorify them and you love when you hear them talk and sing. You've been seeing these people your whole life. This is modern day godhood. That's all this is. The Egyptian spirit. Remember in Egypt, you had pharaohs who were pharaohs. People would live a child, and this person that became a pharaoh, and then you would die an old man, and either that pharaoh was still pharaoh or his son took over. Hence, everybody who's in presidency, a lot of these people are related to people, or they all sit in the same circle. That don't seem weird to anybody? That we in such a rush to vote for people, but not thinking of what's keeping our minds in this loop. We watching the same people on TV. We've been looking at these people for years, and they still singing the crappiest, dumbest songs. We gonna listen to Beyonce talk, shake her butt, and say all kinds of crazy stuff, but she go home to a rich husband, while this female that's sitting there listening to her songs, trying to feel better, ain't even got a husband, and ain't got nobody that even want her. But we gonna sit and we gonna listen to Beyonce. We gonna keep listening to Oprah. Oprah ain't did nothing for nobody in the city. Nobody's doing anything for anybody, but you're watching them on TV. And because the TV is a mirror, it is a black mirror. Turn your TV off and look in it. You will see your reflection. So when you turn your TV on, your reflection is still there. But now there's another image coming through the television. So you are, so in the back of your mind, your image is still in there. You're still looking at a mirror. So when you start looking at celebrities and all these people doing all this, oh look, that person then gave $1 million and doing all of that stuff. What ends up happening is that you end up feeling it like it's you. So what ends up happening is you glorify that person's actions, but you never do anything. You just go right back to your minimum wage job or this job you hate, or your life that you can actually have better for your life, better for your children, better for yourself, better for a future. But because we're sitting watching these other people go all these other places and do all these different things, we sit still. That's one of the biggest problems in the black community. Black people keeping black people down. Most black people living today have not been affected negatively by a white person. Most of you guys haven't. Most of you guys have been held down by black people. I tell you right now, since I got out of the military, I have not been hired by not one black person. Even the interviews that I sat on that had one black person on there, I never got hired for those jobs. Never got hired for that. But I'm supposed to sit here and worry about some white people while my people are in my own city killing and raping our women. So we have, and I'm sorry to come off that hard, but it's time for us to start thinking about these things and why our lives are the way they are. If you could look at your situation right now and ask yourself, and that's whatever it is that you're dealing with, and you asking yourself, like, why, you feel depressed, you feel like you can't make it, or you can't do this and you can't do that, and it seems like you got all this stuff on, and you this, and you just feel overwhelmed. And ask yourself why. Why is it like that? If you can look at yourself and say, well, I'm just taking on too many things, and I care too much about so many things. Well, okay, you need to let some stuff go. But if what's bothering you is environmental, you might need to think about where you at. You might need to think about this. We have children that are dependent on us. If you are of the age, if you got children right now, just know that while we're sitting worried about our life and worrying about and going off and putting our kids off and just we send our kids off to school every day with people we don't know. Why you just remember, everything that you do and don't do is affecting your child's life right now, because they don't have a choice. See, us as adults, as parents, we have a choice right now. We can make a conscious decision to change things around or not to change things around. The kids, they're kids. Their brain, they only got so much mental capacity. Their brains are not fully developed. They're not going. They can't think it all the way through. They can't. It's just because their brain is still growing. That's why you're the parent. But we're sending them out here to a system that is teaching the kids to come against the parents. And if you don't know what that is, I'll go over that stuff too, with stuff going all over the place. Some things that I'm gonna do to bring y'all up to speed, like a lot of different things that's happening, and with the world right now. The church and the world is colliding, so church people are starting to do stuff with the world, you know. Then worldly people are starting to do stuff, and if you don't understand church and worldly, some people will, some people won't. I'll go over that, but things are colliding nowadays. We're in a different age today. Something called the last days that we talk about. Everything that been out there that's been called a conspiracy theory is coming to be true. And if you sit around and you still thinking about, oh, the Illuminati and everything like that, you way behind. For one, there is no Illuminati. Illuminati existed hundreds of years ago. It's gone. What's really ruling the world is things, people who don't even have organizational names. They don't have names. Some of these people are not even in the system. They're not even in the system. They don't have social security numbers and birth certificates and things. All they have is power. And that power is what feeds them. See, they don't care about money. They don't care about what me and you care about. They don't care about raising family. They don't care about the next big thing. They don't care about that. What they like to do, they like to see people react. They like to see people move. They like to see people do things. They like to bet on, this group versus that group. That's the sickness behind these people. I'm not going to say them or they, these people, because they are in line. I can't even start talking about fallen angels because, that's just going over some people's head. The stuff that's real out here that they putting in movies, and we sit and we watch it. But if I sit in front of you and tell you, man, that's freaking real, you would think I'm crazy, but we'll watch the movie and laugh and watch it. We'll sit there for an hour and watch a movie about something that's real. But then if I say it's real, it's like, what is it? It's just a movie. And that's how they get everything going in this world. They put it all through movies. They tell black men to put on dresses and laugh funny. And that's why these black men ended up getting all this money in Hollywood from wearing dresses. You think they blessed with is because they're a black man wearing a dress. Ask Dave Chappelle about that. He didn't have to do it, but they tried to make him do it. And then look what happened to him. And then now they send Dave Chappelle away after he... that's a whole nother subject too. So I'm going to go back and watch the video because I'm talking to me at the same time too, guys. But we have a lot of issues. We have a lot of things that we have to start to think about, start to move towards. If you are a man and you're in the inner city Detroit and you don't know what to do, that's not all your fault, but it's your fault. And I'm going to talk to you like that as a man because ain't nobody else going to tell you. You're going to go to the doctor. They're going to keep telling you sick. You can't do this, can't do that. Ain't no job and all that type of stuff like that. Look, man, this is the reason why everything is jacked up. Because let me tell you, if us as men, if we're jacked up, these women going to automatically be jacked up. See, this world right now is trying to make it where, women leading. That's because the world is about to collapse and fall down. Because as soon as you start putting women in charge of men all the time, and now the world is ruled by women, it's out of order, it's out of whack, it's going to collapse. Because all it takes is a willing, strong few men, and they can take over them women. Don't think for a second right now, women. Don't get tricked into this thing that this world is doing right now, trying to make you believe that you got something over somebody. You don't. Ain't nobody got anything over anybody. It is a lie. The thing that makes women strong is being a woman. The thing that makes a man strong is being a man. But the world likes to make things complicated, put more on you than what you even can bear and what you even supposed to bear. And that's why you got women out here having heart attacks at early ages now. Now women are heart attacks at the age of 30, 40 years old. Men 30, 40 heart attacks. Why do you think this stuff is happening, guys? But that's okay. Because even if you don't believe what I'm saying, everything I'm saying is going to come to pass. Because I'm going to explain to you why I know what I know. I'm not part of a secret organization. I didn't sit behind the scenes and see some secrets. No, I'm just a guy who watch and observe. And people are creatures of habit. But we hate change. Yet we're creatures of habit. We're creatures of habit and we hate change. We tend to do the same thing over and over again. We tend to do this, then that, then this, that, and that. That's just, you can't get around it. So from whoever is listening to this, if I sent this to you and you listening to it, grab hold of your seat. Grab hold to your seat because I'm going to target black people primarily right now. And black people, you're going to hear some things that, and I'm going to try to jump ahead, because if I don't start telling you now, these other people are going to start coming up and they're going to start telling y'all stuff, and you're going to be lost. You're going to be lost. But I can tell you right now that um, me being saved, me coming to the understanding of who Jesus Christ is what really, really fed me. You know, I had no man to teach me what it was to be a man. I had no man teach me what it is to be a father, what it is to be a husband. I learned all of that from God. I learned all of that from the Lord. I learned all of that from confessing that Jesus Christ is the only way to God. That's where I got that from. I can't tell you anything else. And I'm not saying this so you can believe me, but I am saying this for you to consider Jesus Christ. I'm sorry, I'm passionate about these things I'm talking about, but it's at the point now. I mean, we've chilled enough, guys. I mean, how much more liquor do we need on the weekends? How much more partying do we need to do? I mean, really. I mean, are we done yet? Are we ready to really get this thing on the road and prepare for the things that are going to happen in the future? Getting our minds right, getting back strengthened, because we're going to need strength for things that are going to happen later on. And if we can at least build up our strength, even if it's not us that's in this age that's dealing with it, the future children, our grandchildren will deal with it. So we have to be strong so we can teach them how to be strong. So I want you guys to understand, whether you're an older person, older, younger, a parent, whether you my mom, my dad, you got to understand that now is the time for things to start changing, because the world is doing its change. And you're going to change one way or another. Either you're going to be who you were called to be who God has called you to be, or you're going to be who the world told you to be. And one thing I learned about being in the Army is that if you don't come to know who you are, what you are supposed to do, the world will give you something. And then you'll end up on the track, and then you'll get old and realize that that's not even what you wanted to do. So I'm going to go ahead and close on that end. Um, and just tell you guys that now's the time. It's time for us to start stepping up to the plate as fathers, as mothers. And if you're not a husband, you need to become a husband. If you're not a wife, you need to become a wife. Whatever we've been told when we were young, it was a lie. It was a straight lie. And that's why we have so many women in the inner city of Detroit still fatherless homes, single mother homes. And it's normal to us now. And that's a bad thing. So either we can step up to the plate and start doing what it takes to help make some things little, because the world is getting darker right now. It's getting darker. And with all the murder and rape and abortions that have happened in the city of Detroit, it is now being covered up with money. And I'm gonna tell you right now, that's gonna be worse than the atrocity itself, because there is a such thing as a spirit world. There is a such thing as spirits, and there's a lot. It's when a spirit does something, it inhabits bodies. I mean, we see this stuff in movies, but when you actually say it to somebody, you won't want to believe it. You want to turn this off. But you watch a movie that tells you that it's happening, but you think it's fantasy. Oh, they just came up with that. No, these spirits, they're walking around Detroit, and they inhabit it. They go into animals, they go into people, and it just bounces around. You can't cover that up with money. I mean, hey, people paint graffiti and gang signs on buildings, and they freaking having people coming in taking tours, calling it urban art. That's not urban art. If you just drawing just to draw, that's okay, some urban art. But people putting gang stuff up, you call that urban art? Come on, man. The ruins of the fort, all the factories, a tourist attraction now. Come on, guys. Come on. Making money off of our tragedies. And for that, that's the reason why I can't be a famous rapper or a singer, and we don't need any more. So, um, I'm gonna close on this one, and um, I'm gonna do more. I'm gonna actually title the series so it's easier for you to follow. But this was more of a introduction. You know, the next one I'll probably give you a little bit more about me and why and what direction this is coming in. But at least this video kind of gives you a little bit of a taste, a little snippet of the things that we are going to discuss and talk about, and it's going to happen. I don't care even if one person sits back and discusses this with me, and we together begin to do things within our home, within ourselves, that makes these changes, because it has to start somewhere. I'm not waiting on a celebrity. I'm not waiting on a president. I'm not waiting on a senator. We are the leaders now. It is not the presidents. It's not Obama's. It is not Jay-Z's. It is not any Christian rappers out there. We are the leaders. It's the fathers, the mothers, the parents, the brothers and sisters coming up as adults. We are the leaders. It's not a particular group of people. It's not a particular talent. So from here, um, I want you guys to, if you can, tune in to the next one. If you got any questions, let me know. And we'll keep this going. If you got friends, pass this along to your friends. Like I said, I'm not a YouTuber. This isn't. I'm not even putting this on YouTube. If I do, it's literally just so you can have access to it, so you don't have to download it. But I'm sending this out, but I'm not a YouTuber. And eventually, the goal is for us to be face to face physically, not just through video or do like a live stream or something like that. But I apologize if I came on strong, but it's time, guys. It's time for us to get serious now. It's time for us to start doing what we're supposed to do while we're alive, because once our time is up and it's our kids' turn, we can't sit around and try to be the parent then. We can't sit around and try to be the parent once, our kids are now it's their turn to start doing stuff. Look, we got to do everything in its time. We have to. So let's do what we're supposed to do right now so that our kids can do what they're supposed to do, and so that we can end this curse that plagued us as black people for the last 4 decades almost. Let's be fathers. Let's be husbands. Let's be mothers. Let's be wives. Let's be obedient children and get our community back, or start fresh somewhere else. But this is Tyrone. I'll talk to you guys later.